You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
You guys ready to draft our favorite quarterbacks of all time?
Born ready.
All right, let's give it a theme song. Do I have a theme song for this?
Oh shit! My boy brought cards to this
Yeah,
draft.
we
Let's
had
go.
to.
Draft
I don't
pick,
know
baby.
You know what the theme song is? Because
The
here's the theme
Scorpions.
song. It's been a while. Because we haven't done a draft in a while, right? All right, so Adam's holding the cards for the first,
those are dope.
third, and fourth. We're going to do 5 rounds of our favorite quarterbacks. Let me set the stage for the people at home. A favorite quarterback. If your favorite quarterback's Tom Brady, great. Like, it doesn't have to be the greatest quarterbacks. It's somebody you liked watching. It could be in college. It could be the NFL. It's somebody you like to watch. It's somebody you like to use in Madden. It's somebody you liked on your fantasy football team. The idea is just to dig up some memories of some old school quarterbacks. All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, Adam's holding the card, so Adam gets the last one available.
I get the last card available, so who wants to pick first?
So, Dave, if we're looking at your screen, left to right, that would be Adam's right to left. It would be Adam's right to left. But on the screen, it's left to right. Pick
Give me
1, 2, 3, or 4.
All the way left, buddy. All the way left.
So
My
the
left
first
or your
one,
left?
First one.
This one?
First one.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
All right, where's Dave at?
Fourth pick, buddy.
He was picking 4. All right, Jay, it is your turn now. Remember, the one on your left, Jay, is 1, and the one on your left, Adam, is 3.
I'll go right in the middle.
Right in the middle. So made it easy.
Jay,
All right.
first pick.
God
Jay,
damn it.
quick.
Look at that.
I'll trade you.
Scorpion on there.
All right, and then
Yes.
I get the last one.
Left
so,
or right?
Adam, give me the one on my left, your right. My left, your right. Yep, that one. So I got the
Second pick,
deuce.
buddy.
All right, and then Adam's
That
sitting at
which
3.
leaves me
All right.
with 3.
All right, so you guys heard the rules. Your favorite quarterbacks can be college. I just want to hear some cool, fun names here, and we're gonna do 5, and that's about 20 quarterbacks to discuss. So Jay, start us off, baby.
Are we going 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Well, you got to go 1 to 5 because
Okay.
you want to draft your guy.
All right.
Don't leave your guy.
I just wanted to double check,
We'll do it like a draft. I mean, if your favorite you think you're going to get later, then go for it later. It's a draft.
All right. My number 1 is Steve Young.
I knew you were going to do that.
I got you, man. He's my guy.
We're just gonna-
Yeah, I mean, you drafted him in your all-time team. I mean, one of the original scrambler, well, not original, but the early '90s scrambling, making plays, throwing downfield, breaking tackles, lefty. Love Steve Young. Even you being a few years younger than me, you still got memories of Steve Young. That's cool.
Yeah, and he was my first jersey I ever had, I believe. It was either him or Jerry Rice were my first jersey.
It wasn't the Rex Grossman jersey.
No.
You got the Rex Grossman.
Yeah,
one.
I
I
have
wonder
one,
if he's going to be on your
Sexy
list. We'll have to
Rexy.
see. Yeah, I loved him. I loved using him in the later Maddens, or no, actually NFL 2K, the early one. He was in that first one, the one from '99, NFL 2K.
Yep.
And he was old, but he was fun and he was great. What about you guys? Any memories of Steve Young?
Great pick. That's all I got to say. He was fun to watch for sure.
Mm-hmm. Very fun.
I don't got anything to add. I think everything's been said.
I hate him. He sucks.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't suck. He doesn't suck.
Dave's also not that impressed. He's like, whatever.
Whatever.
Steve Young.
He's only
Fuck
got one.
Fuck that guy.
He only won one championship as a starter.
Yeah.
I'm a bitter berry today, guys. It's like fucking 90 degrees in this room.
All right, well, I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to go modern, and I feel I have to get him because I think he's the best quarterback in the league, and I love to watch him. Josh Allen. I take Josh Allen on my team. I love him. I think he's already starting off as a Hall of Famer.
Fucking Homer.
I don't care if
Right?
he's a Bill. If he was on the Tennessee Titans, I would think he is fantastic. He's got the best arm in the league. He's strong. He's fast. He's quick. He's everything you want in a quarterback. He's a leader. I love him. I love to watch Josh Allen. He is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, and he's really creeping up to being my favorite quarterback of all time. So, Josh Allen. And I know we don't really need to discuss him. Everybody loves Josh Allen. So.
Yep.
course.
I
He was
love
on
the
my
fact
list.
that Guys, this dude before we started this show was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this draft, but throw out some unique names. I don't want to hear fucking Peyton
We're
Manning
in
and
round
Tom Brady."
one,
And then
David.
first pick, it goes, "Oh, I love Josh Allen."
We're in round one. You just told me horses.
Yeah.
We're in round one.
Not only is he fucking Homer, but he was like, I don't want to hear Tom Brady. I don't want to hear Peyton Manning. We all know they're the best.
I didn't say I don't
okay?
want to. I just said the draft is not to pick the best. It's to pick your favorite. And Josh Allen is one of my favorites. So what do you got, Adam?
Well, my pick here, guy that I love to watch. I don't know why I have his, and I do have his jersey hanging up in the closet. I'm taking Donovan McNabb, dude.
Oh,
Syracuse guy. Loved watching him in college. Translated into the NFL very nicely. I mean, I just loved watching him throw the ball around. He's probably one of my favorites of all time.
Top 5 quarterback his entire career, almost in the league. He always.
Donovan McNabb was definitely on my list. I loved watching him play, and he provided me with my very first fantasy championship ever.
Nice.
There it is.
Nice.
Let's
And
go.
he was also great to play in Madden.
Yeah.
So that was always fun too. So very, very good pick. You got anything on him, Jay, or no?
No,
Same.
great pick.
Yeah,
Legend.
great.
Legend.
Absolutely, you can't go wrong. Dave, what do you got for your first round pick? And then we'll get your second, but I want your first round pick.
All right, first round pick. Let's go ahead and get the controversy started because I'm going to go with the one and only Mr. Michael Vick.
Dick.
And
you fucking asshole.
I understand all
You
the
fucker.
bullshit that goes along with Michael Vick, but
Oh, no, I love
you
him.
You got to remember back in the day. Watching Michael Vick was absolutely electric. You have a full-blown running back with Olympic sprinter speed, just making plays left and right, hucking that ball down the field.
The
And even-
strongest arm in the league too.
just watching him play was so much fun. As soon as he snapped the ball, it was just so exciting to watch him play. And even when he took his little time off and came back with Philadelphia, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's fucking washed up." Watching him play was still fun, man. He was still great. So I'm doing it, Michael Vick.
Absolutely love him. I just called you Dick because I wanted him. I should have probably took him first
Same.
because I said Josh is almost my favorite quarterback of all time. Hate me all you want, people. Michael Vick is my favorite quarterback of all time. Josh is getting close. He's so amazing to watch. Playing Madden, watch fantasy football. Like, just in my lifetime, Michael Vick was the first quarterback I ever seen go in the first round, first overall pick in fantasy football, for Christ's sakes. Like, that's
was
how good he was.
Literally insane.
Insane. So I don't think anyone's dogging that Michael Vick is exciting and electric.
I
and awesome.
loved-
When you're talking about, yeah.
I loved trading for him in Madden, and just you just trade like 4 first-round picks for him, and they just said yes every single time, and it didn't matter because you just won the next 4 Super Bowls in a row.
And I still remember, Adam,
I love doing that.
with your first round pick. I remember it was Monday Night Football. It was when Donovan was on Washington and when Michael Vick was on Philly. They went head to head. Donovan McNabb had like a 50-point game and got outscored by Michael Vick by like 40 points. Michael Vick almost broke 100 points in that fucking game. That one, it was like 93 points he had in that Monday Night Football game, and it was the greatest thing I ever seen. Also, because shout out to our mine and Jay's friend James G. I had Michael Vick, and I was playing against James that day. And by the end of that week, and James was with me at the bar. By the end of that week, Michael Vick had like 93 points, and James's team had like 86. So
single-handedly beaten.
the greatest thing I ever seen. So all right, Dave, start round 2.
All right, starting up round 2. Not necessarily one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think he's one of the greatest, but stats will say that he's not. But we are, of course, going to go with longtime Buffalo Bill, Fear the Beard, Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I hate your face.
Talk about a dude that is just so fucking team oriented. He like watching him play was great, and even watching him lose was fine because you knew that he fucking cared, man, and he really tried, and he went to umpteen different teams. He was tossed all over the place. He always made good of the situation and like never cared about personal stats. Like, you knew at the end of the game if the Bills were down, Fitz was going out there and he didn't give a shit if he threw 4 interceptions in a row. He's hucking that ball 9 times out of 10 trying to get that touchdown to like bring it back close. And like, just a dude like that is just, I don't know, top tier dude.
He was early Josh Allen. He had all the brave and moxie of Josh Allen, but just didn't have the armor or the athleticism.
Yeah.
But he helped us get ready for the fucking horse that we got now. This is Buffalo. Everybody loves Fitz, right? Nobody is.
Yeah.
I had him out. He was my next pick.
And the greatest backup quarterback of all time.
The greatest
Sure.
backup quarterback of all
Yeah,
time.
And a
for
very
sure.
viable starter when he started. I mean, he had some really good games in there. He was fun to watch, and seeing him on Thursday Night Football now, he's my favorite analyst.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. That's cool to see. All right, Adam. Well, he took your pick. What do you got? You got Donovan McNabb.
He did
What's
take
going
my
on?
pick. Did take my pick, but I have to go here with my baby boy, Matt Stafford. Taking Matt Stafford here.
Fuck.
I have been in love with Matt Stafford for a very long time. I know he was on the shitty Lions for most of his career, but for him to leave the Lions and go win a Super Bowl with the Rams, and just an all-around dude, the things that he's gone through with his wife having cancer and all that, and it's just a really touching story. But fantasy-wise, man, I was so happy to get Matt Stafford because that guy had the quietest 5,000-yard seasons you'd ever seen. And he was constantly putting up points, but because the Detroit Lions were so bad, nobody knew about it. Got to go with Stafford here. He's my number 2 pick.
Megatron is Megatron because of Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Just like
Agreed.
Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp, and Puka was Puka because of Matt Stafford. And that's something I do want to discuss when we get into the receivers is some information I found about those 2 wide receivers with Matt Stafford splits, but we'll talk about that later. Because Matt Stafford, gets a guy, and that's his guy, just like you guys all said, right? And puts up the numbers, but a third of the yards go to one guy. And that's who he is. He's been in the league 15 years now, right? We know who Matt Stafford is. Great pick. Moving back to me. I'm going to take I got one I want, but I'm going to risk it, and maybe Jay won't take it because I'm going to take the original mold of Josh Allen, and I'm going to take Cam Newton. I loved watching Cam Newton. I loved watching him play. I loved using him in Madden fantasy football. I in my lifetime, Cam Newton was drafted in 2011. I was 25 years old. Right. I'm entering my prime, baby. So I'm 25 years old. Cam Newton gets drafted. In my lifetime, I didn't see, but Cam Newton has won a junior college championship. He won an NCAA championship. He won the Heisman Trophy. He won the Rookie of the Year. He won the NFL MVP, and unfortunately lost the Super Bowl. So that man has dominated in his professional career, his college career. He's big, he's fast, he figured out his accuracy, he's led a team to the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning, and I love Cam Newton, so I'm happy to have him on my team. So, anybody?
I figured you would take him at some point.
He was a fantasy, point getter too, man. He was. Anytime they got close, you knew he was running it in. 6 points easy.
And putting him doing a QB draw on Madden from the 3-yard line back in the day. Oh fuck, it's over. Forget about it. All right. Nothing else to say. We'll move on to you for Jay. What's your 2nd round pick?
All right, 2nd and 3rd for me. So for the 2nd pick, I'm going to take Carson Palmer.
Let's
Ooh,
go.
Bastard.
Heisman Trophy winner.
That was on my list.
Yeah,
Yep.
Heisman Trophy winner goes to the NFL, revives Cincinnati because Cincinnati was awful for 13 years. So great.
Yeah.
TJ Hoshmazode.
His career probably derailed by injuries for the most part, but
Well, he had a late run. Remember when
Yeah,
he
he
was
did.
in Arizona?
Yeah.
He was doing great. Great pick.
um, and my 3rd pick is going to be Tony Romo.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
No, you're a bastard.
I'm surprised we're all saying something. Romo was so fun to watch.
He
He
was.
really was.
He was.
Dude.
He really was.
He reminded me a lot of John Elway, just the way he would run around, scramble,
Yep.
make these plays that you shouldn't be able to make. I loved Tony Romo. I loved to watch him. Not a Dallas fan. I think Dak is great, but I like Tony Romo way more. Tony Romo was so great. I loved him. Great pick.
And I don't care what anybody says, controversy or not, he's my favorite announcer ever.
Oh, the best. He's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, mine too.
I think he is incredible, and I'm so upset that when the league came down on him for like calling the plays before they happen.
Yeah.
That whole bit. Oh man, I was like, that's so cool though that he does that and he can like
Yeah.
because people don't know that at home. Like, who cares?
I'll tell you, if we did like an announcers or TV personalities draft, Tony Romo was my second overall pick, just behind Charles Barkley. But that's a different story. All right, anything? You got anything, Dave? You're good.
Love Romo, cross him off my list. If he ever did win the Super Bowl, he would be held in much higher regard than he is right now. And I think even without the ring, he deserves a little bit more credit than he gets.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're all in agreement there, so perfect. We're going to move on to my next pick, which is the guy I wanted. Another guy who this guy won a Heisman Trophy. He was a bit of a bust in the NFL. Went and redefined the Canadian Football League. Got signed by the Buffalo Bills.
You
Went
motherfucker.
on a fucking
I
tear
hate you
so
so
much
much.
that he got a fucking cereal. And the guy was a fucking Buffalo Bills legend. And I want Doug Flutie, man.
Fuck you.
Man, when I was a kid, Doug Flutie, I think it was like 13 when we got him. I'm a little bit. I mean, I remember the Jim Kelly years, but I just lived through the Todd Collins years, and Rob Johnson came in as this high touted prospect, and Rob Johnson was a good prospect. Bills look at it bad now, but he was a good prospect coming in, and then this old fucking man just comes in and is just running around, going crazy, short, throwing bombs off his back feet, bringing our team to the playoffs. And a lot of people feel that if that home run throwback Tennessee miracle, fuck you, Adam, didn't happen, that the Bills would have been in the Super Bowl that year because Tennessee was in the Super Bowl that year. So a lot of people feel that Bills team could have made the Super Bowl. So Doug fucking Flutie, I'm
Fucking
so happy
homer
to get it.
here.
Love
Jesus
him.
Christ, why don't you just take all the fucking Bills quarterbacks as your favorite?
He might actually.
I could have Tyrod Taylor come in, maybe some
No.
Thaddeus Lewis.
His
You never
fucking
know.
next
my
pick is J.P. Lawson, guaranteed.
No, he's gonna probably pick Jim Kelly with his last pick.
Trent Edwards.
I can assure you, it's not Nathan Peterman. So I'm sure we all have great memories of Doug Flutie. I mean, Dave's
yeah.
old enough to remember him in college.
I think he was a Charger when was it him? Was he a Charger when he made that drop kick?
He was a Patriot.
Oh, he was a Patriot when he did that.
He was a
Either way.
Patriot. Yeah.
It wasn't a Bill. I knew he was one of the only players in NFL history, I think, right, to make to do a drop kick like that, and that was crazy.
Loved him.
Fun story about Doug Flutie. I'll make it short and sweet. Do you remember that everybody was collecting the Flutie Flakes and thinking that they were going to be like worth money or something?
Got
Yeah.
two upstairs in the storeroom.
Okay, so we had a box of Flutie Flakes for I can't even tell you how long, and it was in our basement. And I decided one day to open it, and as soon as I opened it, it just had this like plethora of moths start flying out of the bag.
Oh my
and we lived with moths in our house for like a good 2 fucking years because we could not get rid of these fucking things from one box of Flutie Flakes.
Thanks, Doug
That's
Flutie.
hilarious.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This is
Real,
why
real
Dave.
cool, fucking Doug Flutie.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Doug Flutie. Son of a bitch. All right, Adam, what you got?
My number 3 pick. I have to do it. I'm taking the gunslinger himself, Brett Favre. I love watching Brett Favre throw the ball around, man. That dude could chuck that ball the full length of the football field on an absolute rope. He won a Super Bowl with Green Bay, I believe. I think it was his
absolutely.
only one.
Yep.
But man, was he fun to watch! And even when he went to the Jets and the Vikings afterwards, he was still doing the same thing he was doing in Green Bay, man, and it was just so much fun.
Great pick. One of the best arms ever. One of the best dicks I've ever seen. Oh, I mean, just one of the best arms ever. And everyone, of course, remembers the game after his father passed away. Him coming, throwing 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, like
Winning that game.
500 yards,
Yeah.
insane.
Fantastic. Brett Favre, better than Aaron Rodgers. All right, we'll move on to you, Dave. What you got?
All right. Well, I'm going to go to kind of a basic spot here, and I'm going to take Mr. Manning, but I'm not going to take the one that everybody would think of. I'm taking
Cooper Manning.
Mr. Eli Manning. I'm taking Eli Manning. Talk about a dude that forever lives in the shadows. Peyton is just held in such high regard and very much deserves it. But Eli, I feel like, deserves to be right there with him. I mean, the dude won 2 Super Bowls with arguably worse teams. And I don't know. I like him a lot. I think I think he has a good
And he
skill
beat
set,
Tom Brady
and he
twice.
beat
Yep.
Tom Brady twice for us.
Dethroned
So,
the undefeated team.
yeah,
Yeah, great. I mean,
Mr. Eli Manning.
no problem with
That's
Eli
what
is he
it is.
fell off the face of the earth like quickly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
the rings are all that matter.
Peyton fell off the face of the earth quickly too. He was just bolstered by an incredible defense that took him through.
But what I mean by that is Peyton lasted nearly 20 years. Eli was like turning dog shit like 10 years in. He was drafted in 04. By like 2014, 15, he wasn't the same anymore. Right? So that's the only problem I think with his longevity is
I mean,
you
to
know,
be fair, like Peyton wasn't that great the last like 3 years. He couldn't even like throw the football. So I mean, he just got
Right.
carried.
but he was much older. So that was my only issue I
Yeah.
ran with. He
Watch-
kind of
Watching Peyton win his last Super Bowl was painful.
he
Very.
It was
Yeah.
painful. Literally just throwing up ducks, and you're just praying for this dude to not get murdered on the field.
it was like me. It was like watching me throw a football with my left hand.
Right? Yeah.
Like that's what it was. All right, so very well. So you got 4th round pick. What you got?
Ooh, I forgot I'm going back to back right now. Okay, you wanted some unique names, and I'm going to throw out a fucking unique name here. And this is by no means due to how good this player is. In fact, it is the exact opposite. But with my number 4 pick, we are going to take Mr. Kenny Pickett. And we have talked about this before because as in Kenny Pickett's career as a starter, there was one prop bet that was the most consistent prop bet in all of sports, and that was Kenny Pickett under 1.5 touchdowns. And I would bank on Kenny Pickett to suck every single week. And that dude came through for me. I cannot even tell you how many times. So for me personally, Kenny Pickett is an absolute favorite. That dude made me a boatload of money. Thank you so much for sucking ass.
Hey, that's what this is about. I saw some dude on TV or online or whatever that was saying that he feels that by the end of this year that Kenny Pickett's the starter in Washington or in Philly because Jalen Hurts he was carried by his offensive line in the tush push, and now without Jason Kelsey, they're going to not be as good at it. And Kenny Pickett, I was like, okay, that's interesting because like as much as I think he's right, I don't think Kenny Pickett's your answer. The back end of it.
Jesus.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works out for him.
So whoever that's, I don't think any of us want to discuss Kenny Pickett. So, Adam, what's your 4th pick?
My 4th pick. I got to do this, and this is one of my. You guys are gonna give me shit for it, but back in the day, I was a very, very big Tennessee Titans fan. I loved Eddie George.
Shocking.
I loved
Yeah.
Derek Mason. I am
know.
taking Air McNair, Steve McNair.
Fucker, dude.
I got to take him. He was one of my favorite players. I actually have a Steve McNair jersey hanging up in the closet as well. So, yeah,
Tighten
he
up.
was so much fun to
Tighten
watch,
up.
man. I was a big Titans fan back in the day. Of course, the Bills were shitty. I loved my Buffalo Bills, but I was like, you know what? I really need someone to root for. I was a big fan of them. I loved their color scheme back in the day.
Yeah, it was cool when it came
I was
out.
a big Eddie George fan, but Steve McNair, yeah, man, he's my guy.
I believe, sadly, tragically murdered, right?
Yeah, by his ex-girlfriend, I believe.
His ex-girlfriend. Yeah, sad. Great, fun to play Madden. I believe the last co-NFL MVP, him and Peyton Manning were co-NFL MVPs the one year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what I forgot, by the way, Dave, for your pick? I forgot this.
Oh my God! They've killed Kenny! You bastards!
Forgot that. Sorry. All right, we're gonna move on to me, and here's a name digging in to the college football days. An amazing player to watch, electric quarterback, if you want to call him a quarterback. Got to the NFL, didn't do too much, but he kind of overtook the college football landscape for like a year there. Even was on the cover of college football, NCAA, I think 13. and then also was just known by his nickname, and that would be Denard Robinson, aka Shoelace from Michigan. Loved that guy. He was called Shoelace because he never tied his shoes. He was like Michael Vick, like he was just running like crazy. Not necessarily good as a passer, but I loved to watch him. I loved to use him in the video games. I'm a Michigan fan, so to have that player on my team that that I rooted for was fantastic. Michigan wasn't very good then, but Denard Robinson, Shoelace. Now there's a name for you. Loved him. There we go. Anybody remember Denard Robinson?
No.
Briefly.
Dude, he's on the cover of NCAA 13.
Wasn't he? Didn't he go to Jacksonville and they named him as an offensive
Weapon. Yep.
That was
He wasn't
his,
a great player.
he didn't have a position. He had offensive weapon on the depth
He didn't do
chart.
very good, but in college, the man was electric and fun, so I loved him. So there we go. There's a nice fun name, Shoelace. All right, Jay. You got...
Wait, wasn't he on the Rams last year? He got a couple. Didn't he score a touchdown?
No. That was DeMarcus Robinson.
Oh yeah, other Robinson.
Shoelace is not in the league anymore. All right, Jay, what do you got for your second to last pick?
Fourth pick, I'm going to take Kirk Cousins.
Okay, nice.
Kirk. You can't
he's
go
just
wrong
got
with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, dude, he's got some swag to him and everything, and he's made a shit ton of money. He hasn't always been great, but he's made a shit ton of money, and he's fucking rocking chains. So
And he's already got somebody coming for his job already.
Hey, whatever.
He's such a quirky dude.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
watching him celebrate sometimes it's just like that awkward dude that you're like, are we friends with this guy? But kind
Oh
of
yeah, he's such a dude. He's like a Mormon. He's like a friggin' Mormon, and then all of a sudden he's got all the chains on, screaming, having a good time. So yeah, he's very interesting. And wow, good pick, Kirk Cousins.
Nice.
All right, what you got for your last one?
And my last one is Jeff Hostetler.
You son of! How do you take my childhood favorite quarterback in this fucking thing? How does that happen? How does that happen?
Stash, man.
You had 4 picks to take them, and you didn't take them.
I'm out of this. I'm gone. Let's see here.
That Shoelace pick is looking real fucked up now, right?
Yeah. You could have taken a fucking. None of us are college guys. You could have easily taken your college with your 5th round pick.
Tell me why you like Jeff Hostetler, you son of a bitch.
Because he was fun to watch, and he's kind of underrated. So.
Yeah, he was really fun to watch. He was like a very less talented Steve Young, but like you guys know I'm a Raiders fan, so obviously he was the Raiders starting quarterback for about 4 or 5 years there, so I loved him. But people forget that he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback and beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
So the guy was the Giants starting quarterback and beat the Buffalo Bills, and like Fear the Stash, the original Stash man, decent arm, fun guy to watch. Fuck you, Jay. Piece of shit.
You're welcome. Should have drafted better.
Oh, you piece of shit. And you took my Tony Romo, you motherfucking god. I literally wrote 5 next to his name like I was drafting him in the 5th round. You son of a bitch. You son of a... All right. So anyway, fuck you.
It's fine, Chaz. We left Rodgers for you. Just take a breath.
Yeah, that's you love Rodgers.
I got a guy here. I'm going to take Heisman Trophy winner.
Tim
and
Tebow?
author. It could be, but it's not. Same time frame. Just before Tebow. And didn't have the greatest NFL career, but college career was amazing. Heisman Trophy winner, and wait, did he win the Heisman? I think he won the Heisman. But either way, was the quarterback of the greatest college football, nay, the greatest football game I've ever seen. And that would be Texas versus USC in 2006 championship game, and that's Vince Young. And I love Vince Young was a fucking animal. They were a double-digit underdog. USC just won 3 or 2 national championships in a row. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush. It was that era. Vince Young fucking comes in, I believe with Jamal Charles too, but maybe not. But Vince Young walks in there. It's like, hold my beer. And fucking destroys. And that 2006 national championship game, if you guys never watched it, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. 2006 national championship game, Texas versus USC. Vince Young is a legend, and Vince Young.
I remember watching that game on TV, going, "Holy shit! I think the Titans could get him."
Oh, look at that! Another Titan, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have his jersey hanging in the closet too.
And I lied, by the way. I was wrong. Reggie Bush won the Heisman that year. My bad. But he got it stripped, so it's Vince Young's, right?
He's got it back now.
Not
Oh
yet,
yeah, they gave
but-
it back.
Well, yeah,
not
yeah.
yet, but they're going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Something
Vince
like
Young was fantastic. And he was a Buffalo Bill.
Oh, I agree.
All right, Adam, what you got? What's your last pick?
My last pick, I got to do it. Jay took Steve Young. I'm taking Joe Montana.
Okay.
I don't have super memories of him, but I remember I watch a lot of his football games. You can find him on YouTube and on clips of him and whatever. He's a great quarterback, man. I mean, the Niners were unstoppable back then.
Yep.
And then even when he went to the Chiefs, he was still good too. So
His first year at the Chiefs, he lost the AFC Championship game to the Buffalo Bills. Can't go wrong with that.
So,
Great pick.
Joe Montana, one of the best to ever do it.
Jay, thanks for your last podcast appearance. I appreciate it. And Dave, what is
you're welcome.
What is the final pick of the draft?
Final pick of the draft, boys. All right, we're gonna put a nice old school name on the list because I went kind of young with my list, but we're gonna go back to my childhood and talk about Mr. Mark Brunell.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Good
Not the
pick,
greatest
yeah,
quarterback in the
good
world. Not all the accolades, not all of that, but just put all that aside. The dude was fun to watch, man. I loved watching him when I was a kid. He had Josh Allen's arm before Josh Allen. That dude would just sling it. Like when you're talking about, I bet you I could throw that football over those mountains right there. That was Mark Brunell.
Yeah, and he'd run it too.
Yeah, and he'd run it too, man. Just watching that guy sling the football all over the place was just crazy.
I loved using Mark Brunell in Madden because he was a really good thrower and he had more speed than a lot of people realized. So he was one of my favorite to use in Madden. Funny story about Mark Brunell. This 1 year of fantasy football in a family league I was in, this must have been like 2006. The first year Mark Brunell signed with Washington. So he goes to the Washington, and he's got a sick team. I can't remember. Santana Moss and Lavernius Coles maybe and Clinton Portis. I don't remember. But he had a good team, and I was excited for him. So I put him as my fifth quarterback in the draft. But I was working, and I didn't do the draft, so the computer just did the draft. Well, I was picking eighth or whatever. Well, just so happens that 4 people took quarterbacks. So my first-round pick was fucking Mark Brunell. His first year in Washington, and he actually was dog shit. So. That's my Mark Brunell.
Incredible.
So did you guys write down your picks?
Yes.
Yep.
I did.
All right. So Jay, you let's hear your team.
Steve Young, Carson Palmer, Tony Romo, Kirk Cousins, and your favorite QB, Jeff Hostetler.
Okay. Fuck you. Like your team's very, very good. My team is Josh Allen, Cam Newton, Doug Flutie, Denard Robinson, and Vince Young, and I'm totally okay with that. What you got, Adam?
I got Donovan McNabb, Matt Stafford, Brett Favre, Air McNair, and Joe Montana.
All right, and Dave, finish her out. What you got?
We got Michael Vick, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Eli
Oh my
Manning.
God! They've killed Kenny! You bastard!
I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Kenny Pickett and Mark Brunell. And if we put that out of context as a short, none of my picks will make sense except the first 2.
No, that's just the whole point. So, all right, guys. Well, this was fun. We're going to be back next week with the NFC rookies. I know it's a bit of a longer episode, but hey, we were off for like a couple months there, so we worked a little harder for you people today. We didn't even touch the news. Justin Jefferson, wow, huge money. We'll probably talk about it more next week when we talk about the NFC rookie.
Sets the new standard for wide receivers, and now they're all holding out. So,
all right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Dave, give yourself a quick plug.
Just like and subscribe this podcast, guys. Like and subscribe this podcast.
Hey,
Find Dave.
Let us know your favorite quarterback.
Oh yeah, sure. Let us know your favorite. Don't give me Tom Brady. Don't give me Peyton Manning. Pull somebody out like Shoelace or Jeff Hostetler. Like that's the idea of it. And then you can follow my other channel, the Chaz Cast. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.